Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to be making some lemon brownie bars. So they're not really brownies obviously because they're made with lemons, but they have that sort of consistency to them, nice and dense and full of lemon flavour. And this is a recipe which I saw first of all on a Pinterest board which my great nieces Grace and Claire post pictures to. They call it Jeff's Baking Blog Ideas, and so that I can look at that and maybe find some ideas for something to bake. But the original recipe that I am using was on a website called Mel's Kitchen Cafe, and I've adapted the recipe very slightly, but only very slightly. So I'll put a link to Mel's Kitchen Cafe on my blog as well. And it's actually a very simple recipe. It doesn't take too long either. You just have to wait for the cake or the brownie batter to cool down before you can ice it. So I've started off by preheating my oven to 350 Fahrenheit. That's 180 Celsius, 160 Celsius with a fan. And I have lined an 8-inch square, 20 centimetre square cake tin with parchment paper. That's just for ease of getting the brownie cake out of the tin after it's baked and been iced. So I'll go on to the ingredients, and for the cake mixture I have 140 grams, which is 1 cup minus 1 tablespoon of plain flour, and that's based on scooping packed flour into a 250 milliliter cup. I have 150 grams, 3/4 of a cup of caster sugar. I have 1 gram, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 113 grams, 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter, which I've melted and it's cooling down. Then I have 2 medium eggs and 1 medium egg yolk. That would be large in the USA. I have 45 millilitres, 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. And I have 5 grams, 1 tablespoon of lemon zest. That's the zest from 2 good sized lemons, or 3 smaller ones basically. I have 5 millilitres, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract as well. And then for the icing to go on top, I simply have 95 grams, 3/4 of a cup of icing sugar, and 15 millilitres, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. If I need slightly more liquid, I will add a little drop of water in, but I'll put those to one side for a moment, the icing sugar and the tablespoon of lemon juice, because we don't need those. And what I'm going to do is make the lemon brownie batter, and for that I'm going to put the dry ingredients, so the flour and the sugar and the baking powder, into a bowl, and I'm going to put my lemon zest in as well at this stage. And I'm simply going to mix those around with a whisk. And set those to one side, and then in the bowl that I had my flour in, I'm going to put my eggs, an egg yolk, my melted butter, and the vanilla extract, as well as my 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, and I'm going to whisk those together just to get them all incorporated with each other. And then I'm going to pour those into the flour mixture, and I'm going to simply mix them until it's all combined. And with that nicely combined, I'm going to pour that into my prepared cake tin. Like that. And I'm going to put that into the oven for between 18 and 20 minutes until a skewer poked in the centre comes out clean. Then I'm going to take it out and allow it to cool down completely in the cake tin. And when that's happened, I will come back and we'll go on to make the icing. I baked the lemon brownie cake for 19 minutes and I took it out of the oven, and it didn't rise very much, and I didn't expect it to, because it's going to be a dense brownie type texture, I hope. And I've allowed it to cool down, and I was going to ice it in the tin, but I've come up with what I think is a better method. So this is what the cake looks like. And what I've done is I've taken some parchment paper that I used to line the tin and simply put it around the cake so that as I ice it, I can hold it up if I want to stop the icing from spreading down. So I'll put that to one side for a moment, and I've put my 95 grams of icing sugar into a larger bowl, and into that I'm going to add my tablespoon of lemon juice. If I need more liquid, I can add more lemon juice or water, but I'll start by mixing this, and I want it to make a thick paste. And that's almost thick enough, but just a little bit too thick, so I'm going to add a little drop of liquid. And I just want it a little bit looser than that, not much, so another 2 or 3 drops only. Now, if you make it too runny, it isn't a problem. You can just add a little bit more flour, and if it's not runny enough, you can just add a little more liquid. So I think that's good enough for my purposes. And I'm going to put that onto my cake. And then I'm going to spread it over. But I don't want it to run down the sides. I'll see how we go with that. And then with the icing reasonably well spread, I'm simply going to wet my spatula, and that will allow me to spread it more evenly and smoothly. And that's good enough like that. So I'm going to leave that to set up. In fact, I'll put mine in the fridge and just chill it. My sister tells me that it might be quite good chilled. So once that's set up, I will come back and I'll cut it and we'll have a taste of it. So I let my lemon brownie cake set up with the icing on the top, and I only chilled it for about 30 minutes, but I've cut it into some pieces. So here's some of the squares I've cut, or the bars, and it does have a nice dense texture to it, as you can see, but it cuts quite nicely. So I'll have a taste of this piece. Tastes very, very good. I'm actually just going to take a piece of the cake without the icing. That has a nice lemon flavour and it has a lovely texture, but the addition of the icing really makes it, I think. Yes. So it's very, very good indeed. That's going to be it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there is an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for this recipe, and I'll put a link below the video as well. Also below the video you will see a bell icon that you can click on and choose to receive notifications for when I post new videos if you want to. So I hope you would like to do that as well. I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future, so until then, happy baking.